Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another day of the 5 a.m. challenge. Today, we proceed with the conversation we already started. Last week, during the first 3 days of this challenge, we covered a lot of ground. In session 1, we named the 4 fractures. We explored how a dysfunctional relationship with variety breaks your perspective, it fractures your foundation, it scatters your strategy, and it externalizes your ownership. It puts you in that almost a situation of being almost like a puppet to your external circumstances. That was foundational. Then session 2, we named the hungers. What you've actually been starving for behind and beneath all the motions. And we said each of the hungers starts with the word deep. Nothing is going to satisfy you of any of those 4 hungers unless it's deep. You are not just seeking to feel alive. You are seeking deep aliveness, and that applies to each of them. You are seeking deep fulfillment, deep meaning, deep connection. And then in session 3, we created a bit of turbulence by exposing the old instructions. Those very common phrases we say every day that have been quietly running your life for years. And now today, we do something different. Today we stop analyzing, we stop explaining, and we go beyond more information. And today we do an installation. So the simple exercise I've just asked you right now, to go to the chat box and type, I am here. You have literally gone to the software of your mind and clicked on an icon. Software is not active unless it's clicked on, unless it's activated. I want you to write down these 4 words, and then at the end of the session, we will come back to them. The first word is gather. The second word is stay. The third word is build. The fourth word is receive. We spoke about this last week, that what most people don't understand is that the brain is always running on the instructions it has. The brain is always running on the instructions it has. The brain has to run. It has to run on instructions. If the instructions are unclear, the brain uses shortcuts and defaults, just like a computer. But if the instructions are clear, the brain follows them. Now the problem is, most people are running instructions they never chose. We are running instructions we inherited, absorbed. Some of them are faulty instructions disguised as wisdom. I want you to think of it in 2 levels. The old instructions are software programs running in your brain, and they run to serve different purposes. You didn't write them. They were installed, many of them were installed without your permission. And since they were installed, they've just been running. But remember, software runs on an operating system. So you can bring in new software and update your software and buy the newest. You get new habits, new tools, new goals, new books. But if the software is running on a faulty operating system, you are still stuck. And so this morning, we will tackle elements of both. The software, replacing, upgrading the old instructions with the new instructions, but also upgrading the operating system. Because if the operating system beneath any process is faulty, nothing runs properly. If you have an app on your phone and the operating system is faulty, the apps will crash. If you have a faulty operating system in 2026, the new habits won't stick. In fact, the new goals will be sabotaged. And that's because this was one of the hardest things for me to swallow. You cannot outperform your operating system. You cannot outperform your operating system. You are structured and limited. The boundaries of your daily operation are predetermined by your operating system. So today we upgrade the software, the 7 instructions, and then we install a new operating system. And that is the 4 decisions. And I want you to bear in mind those 4 words I gave you. Gather, stay, build, receive. Can you say those words to yourself? Don't unmute or anything. I just want you to say them. Say them in the same order. Gather, stay, build, receive. So let's tackle the first part, upgrading those old instructions. Before the operating system, which is the core, can run cleanly, let's upgrade the software. And we will just go straight and tackle the old instructions. So let's tackle the old instructions. The first old instruction, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. I want you to say, And the new instruction is, that's how I have been. I am willing to change. That is the new line of software that we are coding in. That's how I have been. I'm not denying it. That's how I've been. But I'm willing to change. Once I install this new line of code, my identity is no longer frozen. And movement beyond that old boundary is now allowed. Can you say the new line of software to yourself? Because we are searching for the 3 that will resonate with you the strongest. That is where your power has been frozen. That's just how I am. That's how I've been. But I'm willing to change. The second old instruction, I have no choice. I always have a choice, and I am taking ownership of it. I always have a choice, and I'm taking ownership of it. I have no choice. I always have a choice. Even when it feels uncomfortable, I always have a choice, and I'm taking ownership of it. It may cost me discomfort. There may be a price for me to pay, but this is my life. This is my agency. When I install this new line, my agency returns. The blame loosens its grip so that I can exercise my God-given right to choose. The next instruction, I'll be happy when. I can be happy while. I can be happy while. Not only when. I can be happy while growing, while learning, while figuring out, while waiting, while enduring. What happens when you install this new line is that your happiness is no longer exiled to the future, exiled to some possibilities, exiled to some change that might happen in the future. My happiness, my freedom, my power become available to me now, because I can be happy, I can be content right here, right now, while I'm growing, while I'm learning, while I'm discovering, while I'm expanding, while I'm connecting. The next old instruction that we need to attack. I don't want to get my hopes up. I am willing to hope because I can survive disappointment. I'm willing to hope because disappointment will come. It may even pinch me when it comes. It may be painful, but I will survive it. I will survive disappointment. So that the fear of disappointment does not kill my power to hope, my power to be expectant, my power to be open to what God will bring my way, what life will bring my way. I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm willing to hope because I can survive disappointment. So in this case, I am choosing between which of these two forces will be more powerful in my life. Is it disappointment or hope? I want hope to be more powerful because with hope, I can survive disappointment and I will continue hoping. Because genuine hope always gets fulfilled. The next instruction that we have to tackle, we are upgrading software. So if you hear anything beginning to crack, just know we are pulling the roots, some of the lines of software. I am just not that kind of person. I am not that kind of person. I can become that kind of person if that's what I want. I can become that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person who speaks in public. I can become that kind of person if that's what I choose. I'm not that kind of person who gets started with with business before I have done my research. I can become that kind of person if that's what I need. It doesn't mean I take any foolish risks. I can become that kind of person. I can choose to become that kind of person. When you install this line, the boundary that used to hold you becomes the horizon. So that the boundary doesn't hold you anymore. It just tells you that there is an horizon, and beyond that horizon, there is more for you because you are no longer restricted by the boundary. The boundary is just one of the things within your view, and you can see beyond the boundary. The next old instruction, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is, and I can shape it to become what I want. It is what it is, and I can shape what it becomes. I can shape what it becomes for me. It is what it is for everyone, that's okay, and I'm part of this. But I can shape what it becomes for me. In my relationships, in my career, in my business, in my profession, in my skills, in my habits, in my routines, I can shape what it becomes for me. What happens here is that resignation leaves and acceptance stays. I accept, yes, I agree. It is what it is. It is what it is, but I can shape it. I can shape it with my attitude. I can shape it with my flexibility, my adaptability. I can shape it with my resourcefulness. The next line of code, old instruction. At least I tried. At least I thought about it. I'm grateful for what was, what has been, what I did, and I'm allowed to try more. I'm allowed to grow more. I'm allowed to reach for more. Because this instruction creates a false dichotomy that it's either you are grateful or you desire more. But upgrading it gives you a new vision where gratitude and desire no longer compete. They can coexist. I can be grateful for what I have, and I can grow. Those are the software. I don't know which one of those upgrades landed the hardest, but these are the lines of code. So now I want us to install. The actual installation would be for us to actually sit down for like an hour where you write from the heart for at least 10 minutes for each of those. You write continuously. And I'm going to encourage you to do that after this session. You read the line of code and you actually write. You read it and see what does it mean for you when you read the upgraded instruction. Because the override is not going to happen automatically. The override is going to require repetition until this becomes the automatic new line. And now what's going to be funny is that you'll go around the day today or maybe this week, and you'll begin to hear the old instruction coming out of people's mouths, and your new instruction immediately comes to mind. Go to the chat box. Please share which of those instructions was surprisingly fresh for you. Gladys, I see I'm willing. Or where did it go? I'm willing to hope because I can survive disappointment. Yes. That was a big one for me. That is a big one for me. Francisca, I see yours. That's how I have been, but I'm willing to change. My goodness. That willingness. Mercy, I see, at least I. Ruth, I see, I can be happy while. Oh my goodness. Ruth, you are in medicine with me. It's the degree takes 6 years. If you're only going to be happy after 6 years, because after 6 years, then you have internship. So if you're going to be happy after internship, then after that, there is M.Med, which is 3 years. Then after that, you have to work as a specialist before you become a consultant. So that is 14 years of waiting until you can be happy when. Esther, I'll be happy when. Frida, I can become that kind of person. If that's what I choose or need, I love it. Shiro, I can be happy while. Willing to hope and survive disappointment. Let's now move on to the 4 decisions. The decisions, I will just cut right into it, because we need to install this and making sure that we install both the software, upgrade the software, and also install the new operating system. Now, these are 4 decisions. Could you please say those 4 words I gave you again? Gather, stay, build, receive. These are 4 decisions. They are not 4 habits or tips or techniques. Those who have attended previous sessions, you know that a decision is a knife. When anything is touched by a decision, its identity changes, because a decision cuts. A decision is a knife, it cuts. When you make a decision, you eliminate alternatives. And a decision is only complete. A decision is complete only when it has 3 parts. A decision is only complete when it has 3 parts. What are the 3 parts? It has decision, commitment, and resolution. So here is additional insight even for those who have seen this before. What is decision? Decision is who I am now. When I make a decision, I have identified, defined who I am now. What is commitment? Commitment is where my focus and resources go. That is commitment. What is resolution? Resolution is, this is done, no more negotiations. This is done, no more negotiations. When you resolve, you decide for how long you will implement the decision before you can revisit. When you resolve to work out for 3 months, that is now a resolution. I will work out for 3 months, period. And I will not revise this decision until I have worked out for 3 months. That is what is called done. It is done before it's done. It is done. This is what I'm going to do, done. So, decision, commitment, resolution. Decision is about identity. So let's now install the new identities based on these 4 decisions. Decision number 1 is presence over performance. Presence over performance. That is the label of the decision, but I will give you now the actual line. This is the actual line of the first decision. I will gather all of me in one place before I perform in any place. I will gather all of me in one place before I perform in any place. What was the first word I gave you? So that is the overall. So we will now do the DCR, decision, commitment, and resolution. So what is the decision? Decision is about identity. So for presence over performance, making sure that when you are at work or you are teaching or you are running a business or speaking with customers, that you gather all of you in one place, because this is the only way you will experience deep aliveness. The decision here is, I am someone who is here. I am someone who is here. So that if you're studying, if you're reading, you're teaching, you're speaking, you are coaching, you are serving patients, that is your identity. I am someone who is here. Deep aliveness is impossible if you are fragmented. And this is the decision that ends the fragmentation. What is the commitment? The commitment is that my time, my energy, and my attention consolidate here. And here is where you are at that time. My time, my energy, and my attention consolidate here. I do not allow my time, energy, and attention to scatter into regret, into anticipation, into comparison, into anxiety. They gather here. So that if I ask you, where are you? You tell me you're here, and I'm like, where are you emotionally? Where are you intellectually? Where are you spiritually? Where are you financially? Are you here? Or is some part of you in 2016, some part of you in 2027? Are you fragmented across several timelines, several emotional scales? Please write this down. Please write this as a commitment. I am willing to realize that presence is enough. I am willing to realize that presence is enough. Because we are caught to believe that performance is more important than presence. And yet performance without presence is an empty debe. I am willing to realize that presence is enough. That is gather. Gathering all of you in one place. Because you cannot be alive somewhere you are not. You cannot be alive yesterday. You cannot be alive tomorrow. I cannot be alive in Kenya right now. I have to be alive here. That is decision number 1. Let's move on to decision number 2. The subtitle, to help you create that mental picture, the subtitle of decision number 2 is staying before starting over. Because These are the two that are always fighting. Staying before starting over. What was the second word I gave you? Here is the decision. The decision is, I will remain where I am long enough to be known before I go somewhere else to be seen. I will remain, I will stay long enough to be known before I go somewhere else to be seen. So here is the identity decision. I am someone who can be known. I am someone who can be known. And do you know the first person that needs to know you through you staying is you? Stay long enough to see how you behave when the excitement of the new relationship or the new job or the new business wears out. How do you behave when things become boring, when things become ordinary? How do you stay when that excitement is gone? How do you act? How do you show up when you're bored? How do you show up when things are hard? The old identity kept living before being fully seen. Now you choose that I will stay. It doesn't mean you're going to stay stuck. No. Even staying for 30 minutes with the project you're writing instead of escaping to social media is staying. The commitment here is that my time, energy, and attention go to a few, not many. My time, energy, and attention go to depth, not breadth. And that's because I expect roots to form through repetition. And I stay because I believe being known, growing, deep connection requires staying. The resolution is I stay, done. I stay. I said I will do this for the next 6 months. I stay with it for 6 months, done. Decision number 3. Decision number 3. What is the word I gave you? The third word. Decision number 3 is building before browsing. Building before browsing. This is the decision line. I will build what is in front of me before I browse what's available to me. I will build what's in front of me before I browse what's available to me. If I have a business, I will build this business and stop learning how to dance a new lifestyle, a new dance style from TikTok. I will spend more time on my business than reading the stories on WhatsApp. I am not accusing you. I am speaking to myself today, just making sure that I hear this thing from me. What is the decision? What's the identity? The identity here is I am someone who builds. I am someone who builds. And the difference is because the old identity started endlessly, started new things which it never finished. Do you know anybody around you? This is not you, the people around you. This is not for you. This is nothing. Do you know anybody who started more things in 2024 than they finished? Do you know anybody who started more things in 2025 than they finished? I know it's not you. It's just other people. You can say yes because we know it's other people. It's rarely us. The commitment here is my resources go deep, not wide. My resources go deep, not wide. And this is probably one of the things that I learned by surprise, that meaning emerges through staying. Meaning emerges through staying. I've been doing the 90-day momentum challenge for a long while. I've been doing the breakthrough challenge for a long while. I've been doing the daily reset for a long while. I find them so meaningful. I never knew why. It's because I've stayed with them for so long. I go to my files And I'm like, okay, let me see, day 42 from 2020. And I listen to it and I'm like, who recorded that? It's my voice. It's right. And sometimes I feel like I'm getting drunk on my own supply. I would just start playing. I shared an audio with you from 2023, 2024, right? Meaning comes from staying. Meaning comes from staying. The resolution is I build. You tell yourself I build, period. Building means just building repetition. Because of time, I'll take you straight to the final decision. What is the final word I gave you? Final word. Decision number 4 is receiving before reaching. Receiving before reaching. The decision line is I will take in what is here before I reach for what is next. I will take in what is here before I reach for what is next. Now, this identity line will probably, some of you may face resistance with it, but I want you to receive this identity line. The decision line, the identity line under this decision is, I am someone who has enough. I am someone who has enough. Am I willing to receive more? Yes. But even if I receive more, if I do not have the mindset that I have enough, more will never be enough. I am someone who has enough. In other words, I no longer defer arrival or outsource my satisfaction to the next milestone, to the next achievement, to the next property I acquire, or the next promotion, or the next business I start, or the next cohort that I coach. The old identity that I used to have, it continued achieving, but it never arrived. Every single time expecting, like after this fellowship, after this training, after this certification, I am someone who has enough. And I absolutely understand that that's something you will probably hear and it triggers resistance. And yet, contentment starts from this moment right now. The commitment under this decision is my resources go to receiving, not just achieving. My resources go to receiving. And for some of us, this decision by itself can create so much margin that you not only begin to enjoy what you have, but you also let go of some goals which are trying to feed, to satisfy a hunger that is not yours to carry. This decision by itself can help you let go of weight you're carrying that is not yours to carry. Because you're carrying a weight that is trying to satisfy some, if I can only get the next one. And this is how the new instruction that I can be happy while connects to this part of the operating system. That I am not here to achieve. First of all, I'm here to receive. You can achieve everything you desire, but if you never have room to receive it, it will be more beautiful on the album than it is in your heart. Take this down. Perhaps we'll just close this here. And this is 2 parts. It's blessings and challenges. Okay? The first part is I take in blessings and let myself enjoy them. That's the first part. I take in blessings and let myself enjoy them. The second part is I take in challenges and let them train me. If I am posting my blessings on social media and complaining about my challenges, I'm fracturing my own life. I'm creating a source of poison in my own life, such that whatever blessings come in, because I'm trying to protect myself from the challenges while opening myself to the blessings, the gate is the same. If the gate is close to the challenges, it's going to be close to the blessings too. And that's how the operating system supersedes the software. Because if the operating system is closed, it doesn't matter what you have in the software. I want to have that willingness on an ongoing basis to open my hands, knowing that I'm going to receive the roses. They'll come with thorns. It is not good or bad. It is the full experience. And the resolution under this decision is, I receive. I receive. And this is one, I would say without a doubt, the one area I am struggling every single day. I am struggling in this area every single day, especially because I live in a part of the country where the current leader of that country has created an environment where people feel like if you have more melanin than them, they can talk to you whichever way they want. And I still have to find the best way I can to remember the blessing without closing the door to the challenges. So that the blessing, I can enjoy the blessing and let these challenges train me. This is heavy material. I'm going to wrap up the session here and look through what you've taken down in terms of the notes, because I know that my assignment is not to entertain, not even me or you. That's not my purpose. My assignment is to bring it to the table in a very simple way, nothing grand, very simple way, as long as we can digest it in a way that grows you and grows me. That will give me deep aliveness, deep meaning, deep fulfillment, and deep connection with all of you, but also the people that are closest in my life. Tomorrow, we wrap this whole section up with the 4 irresistible forces. The 4 irresistible forces. And that is what is going to wrap the 5 days together, completing what we started on Wednesday last week. Hopefully, that brings you to a point where now when you think about your goals for 2026, you are thinking of them from a much deeper, much higher, much more expansive place. You're thinking of them more from perspective rather than the perception where you are so enmeshed with every moment in the daily reactions. And at this point, I will hand over back to Gladys. Ladies and gentlemen, gather, stay, build, and receive. My name is Job Mogire. Where I come from, they call me Job. I will now give you Gladys.
Wow. Let's appreciate the heart doctor. Let's appreciate. I'm waiting for those appreciations. Thank you so much. Please remember to type in your takeaway on the chat before you leave the room. I just want to consult Doc. Do we do the daily reset slide as well?
Yes, I will share the reset slide. Could I say this? I don't know how many of you have been able to join the daily reset. If you're part of Return 90, you're automatically part of the daily reset. We are going to such a deep place in the daily reset that I wouldn't want to keep getting new people or people for whom I don't feel the responsibility to actually shepherd you. And so from next week, the daily reset is a paid membership. It's only 3,000. That is absolutely nothing. And beyond this year, it will never be in that price range. I promise you 100% it will never be in that price range. If you're not part of Return 90, I'm inviting you to join the daily reset. There you will see communication in the WhatsApp group. Please join the daily reset. I already have a cap of 30. The most we can expand to is 50. And I've already put out an advertisement. It's going to fill up with new people. Don't wait. It's just 3,000 a month. That is absolutely nothing, knowing what we are going to do this year. 2026 can be the year you truly remember what matters, but you have to decide, commit, and resolve. So do not wait till next week, because it will probably be full by that time. And now I'm going to share with you the slide for the daily reset. Please spend time to look at what we have spoken about today. We've covered a lot. And as soon as I find this daily reset slide, Gladys, do you have your daily reset slide ready? Oh,
Yes, yes, I can share. Okay.
Yeah, I found it already.
So please type your takeaway for today on the chat. For our new guests, we have 5 statements where we decide how our day is going to be. So take time to type out the answer to today. My focus is today. My intention is to. Today I'm releasing. Today I'm claiming. Today I permit myself to. And that's it from my end. Looking forward to see you all on Daily Reset. Doc?